Of the NBA Finals post-game press conferences. Jason Jackson here with you all throughout the NBA Finals. You can tune in here to the Deuce right after the NBA Finals and listen to all the key players and key coaches and their strategies and all the outcomes coming in the NBA Finals this year. In Game 1, the Chicago Bulls win the ball game 107-90. Coach Phil Jackson, the 1996 NBA Coach of the Year, on the podium right now. Let's get you out to the United Center.
Well, we just knew that their defense was confusing us a little bit in the second period, the third period also. And we had to open some space on the floor and get some areas to attack the basket. Yeah. Well, I thought that Scotty did a good job. I thought that, obviously we knew that our philosophy was come in and, take care of the auxiliary ball players or supplementary scorers, and Schrampf and Hawkins and hopefully Perkins as their scorers, and we did a good job tonight, I thought, on those players. Sam got off to a real good half in the first half, but we were able to close down a little bit in the second.
When did you see the team starting coming to sustain, get a rhythm?
Well, I didn't like the third quarter, and I took Michael out early in the third quarter to give him a rest so that we'd have that energy in the fourth. And I thought that was the important time in the first, actually it was 2 minutes of the fourth quarter when we came in and we scored immediately and got a little lead and started stepping it up defensively. Well, we kept searching for matchups tonight, and with Longley and Dennis in foul trouble, we had to keep adjusting our matchups, using Tony either at a power forward position or small forward. And Bushler coming off the bench also to fill in behind. Harper got a little bit of trouble the first half, and he had to come out of the game even though he was playing well. Ron has not been able to practice a lot during this off time because of an injury, and so we kind of had to nurse him through. And he came out and gave us a real good second half behind that. Well, they threw Schrampf at Michael, and Detlef has played him before. We were not surprised by that, and we thought he did a nice job on it. But that's kind of the way we wanted to feel it out anyway in this first game. Well, I thought we were, obviously did not shoot well in the first half. We got plenty of shots. We got open shots. Our three-point shooting was there. We didn't hit our three-point shots. But that was okay. I felt it was good for us to get the energy offensively that we had to have, because that's where you're going to fall out of sync, first of all, is in the offense, your coordinated rhythm, particularly in an offense that we run. So we weren't surprised by that. We were a little bit miffed at the fact that we put them on the foul line so many times in the second and third quarter.
How important for players like Luke to get off the level?
Well, our starters had to carry us today, and our bench, particularly that coming off the bench is going to be difficult in a series like this, their first finals, and the inexperience that our bench might have showed up a little bit. I thought Steve Kerr and Judd didn't find their shots, and Ron and our starters combined played very well in the fourth quarter.
How about the turnovers, a matter of anticipation or bad passing or big hit and turnovers?
Well, it was our defense. We stepped a little pressure up on them, and I thought just took them out of the easy rotation of the ball that they like to do through the swing pass, and that was really the key at the end of the game with 3 steals there that changed the course of the game.
Coach, how important is it for Tony Kukoc to have such a good game this game, and could you see his rhythm finally coming together in the third quarter with the assists?
Well, I thought he made a couple nice passes, and that kind of got him seated in the ball game, that he looked to pass the ball. He found a couple guys open for layups, and then he got a rhythm in the game. He was able to keep himself in the ball game by finding a rhythm. And when Tony does that, he's going to find his way around to score and to do some things. He got to run out and dunk, and that started to help him go. Well, we thought that the big body that Luke can provide at least will be a good bump for Sean, and he had a very good game tonight, and we knew that we'd have to adjust as we went through the game. We didn't want to get Dennis in foul trouble early in the game, and I thought that he did get in foul trouble regardless. Both of them did, and Luke was able to just stay in front of him and keep his body on him at least to provide us some support out there.
Okay, we'll take one more question for Coach Jackson.
Was Michael feeling the effects of the layoff and any more than
No, I don't think so. You know, I think he felt good about this game. This kind of game I think he likes to have in the first game. He's going to find his time and his pecking time in this series particularly.
Okay, Sonics, probably moving next.
I'll just take questions.
What happened in the fourth quarter, Coach? What did you do to keep them scoring?
I'm sorry?
What did you do to keep them scoring?
They play, you know, they have a great tendency as the game goes on to build their pressure. They have a knack to get more aggressive as the game goes on, and we got more tentative and less aggressive, and they won that battle of aggressiveness big time, mostly because of our turnovers, mostly because of I didn't think we were very aggressive, a little bit because Sean had some foul trouble and we had to take him out of the game, and that was really our big hot button going in the game. And they play with a great deal of confidence when their defense is hot, and in the fourth quarter it got hot, and we didn't react real well. But there's a lot of good stuff for us out there. We played three quarters of ball. I still didn't think we were playing great basketball when we were in the game. And I like some of the stuff out there, and I think we're in the beginning of the learning process. You know, every game, if we can learn something about the Bulls that help us further on, we will get to a comfort zone that will be very competitive. I thought tonight we were very competitive for three quarters. But great team, great court. They won this one. We'll learn if we get better. It'll be fun on whenever we play next.
George, once Kukoc did that first three, you were a little concerned that he might be coming out of that slump and just that one shot.
Well, his 7 points there were huge. I mean, we had the confidence in the game at that time, and he makes those 7 points. I think it goes from 2 to 9 in those two or three possessions. He gets into a running game a little bit, and then we throw the ball away, and we lose our confidence in the game, and maybe we ran out of gas a little bit. You know, Gary played a lot of minutes, and Sean played a lot of minutes, and without having Nate, it puts a lot of pressure on a lot of our guys to play minutes where we're probably more used to more guys playing more minutes. Well, I think their defense gives you some things. One being you got to finish some shots in the paint going to the rim, and we didn't get that done very much tonight. I think penetration is something that we're going to have to look at being better at. I think we got to be patient against their pressure. You're not going to score probably in the first 15, 16 seconds in the game, but of the shot clock. But as the shot clock wears on, have patience and keep moving the ball, keep going to second and third options. And it's actually better against the Bulls to run the shot clock out than it is to throw the ball away. Because when you throw the ball away, they turn it into points. If you just run the shot clock out, then you get to set your defense and play that way.
Would it hurt though when Kukoc going out, kind of one of your key players going out? X's and O's.
You know, Frank says he got 2 technicals for saying nothing. I don't know. I think the NBA has been tremendously unfair to Frank Bukowski's. Ever since David Robinson, the fight with David Robinson early this season, the league will not allow Frank Bukowski to be a player, and I think it's awful. I mean, Frank's physical, but he just never had a reputation in the past, and it just seems they got a magnifying glass on him. And you know, tonight it hurt us. You know, that was 5 free throws in a stretch where the game was pretty equal. I know we were up 44-41, but I don't know after that.
What's the situation with Nate?
He told me at halftime he couldn't play. I don't know where his situation is after that. So we will keep you updated on if he will play on. I don't know what day it is. Friday.
Are you happy that you out-rebounded goals?
I didn't feel like we out-rebounded them, you know. I don't think we can beat this team without winning the hustle game and a little bit more of the transition game. I was somewhat happy in transition, but I thought they got loose balls, and they have a funny way of building confidence with Rodman and their Buechler, and they got a big lift from Longley tonight. You know, we did a good job on Kerr, didn't do a good job on Longley. But, you know, we got to compete with them. And I think their attitude is a little more part of their heart than people think it is. But I think my basketball team has a big heart too, so.
Okay, one last question for Coach Carl.
Were you surprised that you were able to out-rebound them, only the second time in the playoffs they have now?
It was a big emphasis of the game for us. It's probably the fundamental, along with passing the basketball, for us to be successful. You know, we only had 16 assists. I think we're going to have to get 25 or 28 assists, that area, and then rebound the ball. Those are big fundamentals. They have a lot of motion in their offense, which creates a lot of offensive rebounding position. And they also have great offensive rebounders.
Okay.
Coaches, the players.
Yeah, I anticipate them throwing a lot of people at me. You know, I think that's their way of making other players step up and hurt them. And I think we proved that the players could step up, and I think they're gonna have to make adjustments from that. I'm pretty sure they're gonna stay focused. But as myself, I have to be patient. Don't try to force the issue, move the ball around to the open people, and hopefully we could capitalize on their double teams. And I'm anticipating seeing quite a few more people. I think Nick McMillan didn't really play that much, and I feel he's gonna come back and play a little bit in the next game. But I think we're ready to face any type of defense. I think we have faced pretty much every type of defense.
Michael, can you talk about Tony's significance in the game?
Yeah, as you know, Tony's been struggling here in the playoffs, and I think he came out today and really gave us a big lift offensively. He made a couple big shots, and I think his confidence started to grow a little bit. And that's what it's all about, is to get some confidence where you can perform, and hopefully you can find the flow of the game. And he came in and gave us some really big minutes at a crucial time.
Is it a plan to try to work into Longley early in the game to get him involved?
No, it's just a matter of getting into an offensive set. And Luke seemed to be more aggressive tonight, and we got him the ball, and he became a threat for us. And I think that's important for us and important for him. Whatever he can give us and get some of their big guys in the foul trouble would be great.
Michael, when Cam got his fourth foul, do you think he could have exploited that a little bit better inside?
Well, I mean, they play great help defense, so for us to go at him solely, I think you really be falling into their hands in a sense, because, they move their defensive help very quickly, and we really didn't have an opportunity to get to him. And, he played with a lot of care, and he didn't really make any dumb mistakes. And so you have to give him credit for leaving him in there.
Did they tire you out a little bit, throwing a lot of bodies at you? Shots I know come short a little bit.
No, I got tired at one moment in the second quarter, but for the most part, I felt good. My win felt good, and I think, when you miss 8 days, you would probably be worried about the win. But I think field practices where we did a lot of running, and the thing that was missing, I don't think was our win, was our continuity offensively. Defensively, I think we were pretty in sync, and we were very active. So I think offensively we were a little bit out of sync.
Okay, we'll just take a couple more questions.
Excuse me? I think that was a jump into a conclusion from a referee. I think, Peyton was saying something about the physical play, but I'm telling him just play. This is how you play in the finals. So it wasn't really any confrontation, on my part anyway. And, I felt they wanted to control the situation, felt it was out of hand, but it really wasn't. Sure. The fourth quarter is the desire, execution, solid defense, maintaining the pressure, putting on the pressure, and you have to succumb to some of that pressure. Sometimes they succumbed to the pressure tonight, and we were able to build from that, and hopefully we can continue to do that, especially in the fourth quarter.
Okay, one last question for Michael.
Well, the first game is always the hardest in a sense. You never really had a good feel. I don't think we had a good feel for this team until the first game. Now we can go back and make adjustments. We see how they're matching up. I'm pretty sure they're going to try to change certain things, but at least we have something to look at and try to get ourselves prepared. Before that, we really didn't have anything to prepare on, and I think the game one to win it and know you didn't play great offensively but play great defensively, it's a plus, and hopefully we can build upon this.
Okay, Sam Perkins will be up next. Thank you, Mr.
I'm straight. Excuse me, I didn't hear you. Well, I wouldn't know anything about him struggling, but Kukoc is a very good player. So with that in mind, he steps up, he does what he has to do, and he takes what teams give him. So we just didn't play to our game plan, and we uncharacteristically turned the ball over, which resulted into many points for them.
Do you think you guys had a chance to come and steal one? I know the last time we were in the finals, playing the Lakers, you hit game-winning shot, game one. Did any of that come into focus at all?
Well, that's a whole different era, a whole other time. But with this team, we with all the things against us, we felt that we could win this game, but we stayed close. But now we have to realize that we have to play to win instead of trying just to stay subpar. There's no way to play to look good. You have to play regardless, whether you miss shots and that's the thing that we have to keep focus on, that if we miss shots or do anything uncharacter from our game, it's always come back with our defense and try to do it again. So this time we let this game get away, and they capitalized on everything that we didn't do.
What was the mood in the locker room? Like how the guys players?
Well, the mood was cool. It was. We knew that we didn't play well to win. Well, against Chicago, you have to take care of the ball. You have to execute. You have to go after and stay aggressive. For the most part, we were aggressive, but those turnovers were costly, and towards the end, miscommunication, and you just can't have that. So, being that game one is out the way, we'll go back and see what we didn't do to adjust.
Yeah, realistically, wasn't this your best chance to win the game in Chicago?
I don't know what you think. I don't know. As a player, as you watching, it might be that to you, but as a player, I think that any game is important. The first one is always the one that you just try to go out there and play hard and let the game feel you and let the game come. But we had our chances for this particular game. Game two hasn't been here yet, so that could be the game realistically to get and hope for the best.
Sam, the defense on Michael has done so well in containing him, but
I can't. So
the defense on Michael had done so well.
I'm sorry. I heard the defense on Pippen.
Defensive play impact on
well, they are all keep in mind both teams, love to play defense. And when you have Pippen and Jordan who gamble and scramble a great deal, they get their hands on a lot of balls. They pressured us. They did what they had to do to keep the ball out of our point guard's hands, Peyton. So they play aggressive, but we have to match that. And I don't think we were necessarily bothered by it because we kept playing. But, those turnovers, we just might as well just turn around and give them the ball for layups, and that really cost us a real game.
John, you want to take that question?
Sam, your defense has done such a good job of containing Michael Jordan, and now with the other Bulls players, scoring double figures, and you think does the adjustment you have to make involve, concentrating less on Michael, and then what happens if you do that?
Well, the thing is that Michael is such an extraordinary player that he's going to get his points hook or crook. I mean, he has the potential to shoot as many times as he wants. So he's going to get his points either way, but we have to contain other players. Luka only played a very good game, and those things right there. And we can't let Chicago get so many chances to score. And with all that in mind, that is probably the key for us, and to go back down and execute and what do we have to do. But we have to take care of the ball. I think we had like 19, 20 turnovers, which, was costly for this game.
Okay, thank you. Tony Kukoc will be up next.
We still have more player post-game press conference information coming your way. Up next from the Chicago Bulls, Scottie Pippen and Tony Kukoc coming your way in a second. Stay with me. Scored 12 of Chicago's 28 fourth-quarter points and finished with 18. He's talking to the media right now in the United States.
Those 8 days really helped me to get back into shape, because after being out with the back problem, I didn't really practice, so I lost some of the physical things, and I worked these 8 days pretty much on that and on my shooting.
About Gardner and Shrimp having both TV.
Well, I was pretty surprised. I don't think we knew how they were going to match up against us going into the game, and I think they wanted us to make a big issue of some lacrosse matches with Shrimp on Michael and Peyton on me, but I thought we did a good job of really just working through our offense and, letting the advantage take place somewhere throughout the execution of our offense.
What do you think about Ron Harper's game tonight?
Ron played tremendously well. He stayed focused. He still a lot of minutes early in the game, but I think he kept his focus throughout the game. And when he came back in, late in the fourth quarter, he was a big key for us to really step our defense up.
Scottie, do you think you demoralized them with your defense in the fourth quarter? Do you think that'll have a carryover effect in the game?
Well, I think they realized throughout the game that, we're a type of basketball team that continuously build our pressure. And late in the game, our pressure was a big factor. I'm sure they realized that they didn't execute well down the stretch of the game, and that was the turning point.
How important is it for you all not to let your guard down?
When you hit that three-point shot, at that point, you say to yourself, I feel I've got it back, give me the ball.
He always said that.
Pippen's right. I always say that, especially when I feel confident. That's not a thing to feel confident when you hit a few shots. Normally, you feel confident. You got to stay in and feel confident when the things are going wrong. That's the big thing. After hitting those shots, I will shoot any ball comes to my hands.
I feel like late in the game, I think our defense was the key. I feel like that they felt like we were going to be back on our heels, but we stepped up the pressure. We got a lot more aggressive, and guys started to play the passing lane. And that was kind of our game plan coming into this game, is not to allow them to get an early entry into the wings where they can go down and find Kemp early.
You guys kind of feel like the only only way you all can lose or be defeated is if it happens amongst yourselves? Basically, that's it.
Well, I don't think so. I don't feel that way. I mean, we have a lot of confidence, but, you know, I think coming into the day's game, we was a little nervous, really not knowing how well we was going to play as a team, having such a long layoff. But, you know, we came in and, you know, I think the crowd here really gave us that boost that we needed.
This guy, the only thing that they did better than you, they had more rebounds. Would you like to do better on rebounding, or is that part of the game that you don't worry about?
Well, we definitely would like to do better. I mean, I think rebound is definitely the key to wins and losses. And, you know, they were a little bit quicker than we were tonight. They got to the loose balls. We bobbled a few balls around the basket, and they were able to pick them up. But, you know, for the most part, our defense was a big key for us. Even the times when we lost the ball, we was able to get back defensively and not let them have easy baskets.
You and almost traded for
Excuse me, I don't hear you.
Any extra incentive playing against a team that drafted you and almost traded for you? Is that something different?
No, not really. You know, that's something that really never crosses my mind about playing for Seattle or about being drafted to Seattle. You know, for as the way I look at the situation is I've been a Chicago Bull my whole career.
Tony, is there a little bit more media pressure here than in the game you played in Europe?
Much more. Much
Can
more.
you compare it?
No. No way.
Couple more questions for the players.
Scotty, there was a shot of you on NBC cheering for Tony when he sank one of his threes. How nice is it to see that shot go down for him?
That was great. You know, I think, you know, Tony can speak for himself, but, you know, even, you know, when he struggled from behind the three-point shot, that's been his strong point, and he's been one of the guys that has helped his team with a lot of success this season, and we've always encouraged him to continue to take that shot, and it was great to see him find his rhythm behind the arc tonight.
Thank you.
What's that question? Tony, any comments appreciated that?
Never. No comment on that.
Okay,
Ziggy.